Hi again everyone. For this video presentation of pre-calculus conic section ellipse, we will tackle this time how to transform a general equation to standard equation. Okay, again, let us clear some things first before we transform the given general equation into standard form for the ellipse. Unlike a circle, we need to find for the different properties of an ellipse using the standard equation. There's a shortcut for the circle which gives us the center and the radius for a very short solution. But for the conic section ellipse, it is hard for us to determine the center and the other properties if it is in general format. But what is the use of the general format and the standard format again? Remember that the general equation is always in the format of ax squared plus by squared plus dx plus ey plus f is equal to 0, where your a and b are not equal to each other, but they are not equal to 0. Bawal pong magkaroon ng 0 na value si a or si b, or kahit man sino sa kanila. Bawal po silang magkaroon ng 0 na value because it will change the graph of your conic section if that happened. Okay? And we can now proceed to our first example, which is given an ellipse, let us transform the equation into the standard format. So we can see here we have 3x squared plus 2y squared minus 18x plus 8y plus 5 is equal to 0 into standard form. For your first step, always remember we cannot apply the first part of a circle. We cannot divide the whole equation by the constant of x squared and y squared. Instead, we need to group them according to their variable. So all the variable x and variable y should be together. So that is 3x squared minus 18x plus 2y squared plus 8y is equal to 5. But since 5 is moved from the left side to the right side of the equation, it should be transposed, or you will change the sign from positive, it will become negative 5 instead. The next step is we cannot divide the whole equation by the constant already because it will cause us problem as we go along. So the next thing to do is to factor out the constant of x squared or the coefficient of x squared and y squared. According to the rules of completing the squares, the variables x squared and y squared should have a 1 as their constant or as their coefficient. So therefore, we need to factor 3 and 2 respectively. So it will result into constant 3 in front, and then we have x squared minus 6x. If you factor the constant or the coefficient of x squared, such as 3, you need to divide the other term by that constant. So it becomes 18 divided by 3. The answer is negative 6. The same with the variable y. It will result into plus 2 multiplied by y squared plus 4y is equal to negative 5. Don't forget to factor out the coefficient first before you do the completing the squares. Now, for the completing the squares, we need to solve for the value of our c sub x and c sub y. And to solve that, we need the coefficient of variable x that is having an exponent of 1, and the same with y. And the coefficient is negative 6, so you should divide it by 2, quantity squared, and it is 4 divided by 2, quantity squared. And then negative 6 divided by 2, that is negative 3 squared. 4 divided by 2 is 2 squared. Then simplify, 9 and 4. For 9 and 4, it should be added respectively to the respective variables and should be added also on the right side. But be careful because we have 3 and 2 in front. So it will be resulting into 3 multiplied by x squared minus 6x. You add 9. Continuing to y, you have 2 multiplied by y squared plus 4y plus 4 is equal to negative 5. I'm going to change the sign, the color of this one. Plus, okay, it's plus 4. Before that, you should multiply it by 3 first. Plus 3 multiplied by positive 9. Okay, ayan. So, nakita nyo, may 3 sa unahan. Minultiply sa 3 yung 9 before it is added to negative 5. Again, the same with our positive 4. Before you add, multiply it by 2. 4. Ayan siya. And then, we can now factor out some terms. Copy 3. Then factor out the trinomial. The factor can be seen on the upper parts of our solution. And it's x minus 3 squared. Then, write 2 first. Plus, multiplied by y plus 2 instead. Okay. And then, simplify. You can multiply the two numbers or 3, 9 to 4. Then add the remaining values that we have. So, negative 5 plus 3 times 9 plus 2 times 4 is equal to positive 30. A positive 30. Remember that the general equation is equal to 0 and the standard equation should be equal to 1. So we need to divide the whole equation or each term by the coefficient or the number or the constant on the right side. So it will be resulting into 3 multiplied by x minus 3 squared over 30. Okay, because the coefficient or the constant is 30. Then plus 2 multiplied by y plus 2 squared over 30 is equal to 30 over 30. Yan siya. So, cancel nyo na yon sa dulo. That is equal to 1. Then, 3 saka 30, it will become 1 over 10. And 2 is 1 over 15. So, therefore, your answers are x minus 3 squared over 10 plus y plus 2 squared over 15. And this is already your final answer for example number 1. Okay, for example number 2, let us have given an ellipse, transform its equation into standard format. The equation is given 3x squared plus 4y squared plus 24x minus 16y plus 16 is equal to 0. Let us now group the terms with the same variable. So we will have 3x squared minus 24x, plus 24x plus 4y squared minus 16y is equal to negative 16. So I already moved the constant on the right side. And then we need to factor out the constant of 3 and 4 for x squared and y squared. So we will have 3 multiplied by x squared, divide 24 by the constant. So that would result into 8x plus 4 should be multiplied by y squared minus 4y is equal to negative 16. Again, if you factor out a number or a coefficient for the variables, it should be divided also. So after that, let us do the completing the squares. It would be 8 divided by 2 squared plus, c sub y is equal to negative 4 divided by 2 squared. That will result into 4 squared. That will result into negative 2 squared. That's 16, and this is 4 that constant should be added to the respective variable. So it would be x squared plus 8x plus 16, and you have y squared minus 4y plus 4, and it is equal to negative 16. But don't forget to write the constant, and then you should add the product of the coefficient outside and the value of c sub x and c sub y. So we have 3 and 16, so your answer should be added with plus tayo ng 3 times 16 is equal to 48, and we have 16 also here. As we can see, we can cancel out some terms, such as the 216 here. Then we can factor out our trinomial to a binomial. So you have x plus 4 squared, and then you have 3 in front. You also have plus y minus 2 squared is equal to positive 48 here. Don't forget 4. And then after that, we can divide the whole equation by the coefficient on the right side to make it a 1 value. So we will have here 48, 48, then 48. We can simplify some terms such as this one. So it will result into positive 1. Then you divide or simplify 3 over 48. So it is divisible naman. So your answer would be x plus 4 squared over 16 plus y minus 2 squared over 48 is still divisible by 4, and that will result into positive 12. And therefore, this is your standard equation for an ellipse. Okay? And on to our last example, number 3. For example number 3, let us have the equation 9x squared plus 4y squared minus 36 is equal to 0. As we can see here, this is an example of an ellipse where your center is at 0, 0. So why do I say that this ellipse is having a center at 0, 0? Because when we are having an equation, if the dx and ey terms are missing, automatically for centers 0, 0 of circle and ellipse are missing also, or at 0, 0. So we need to transform this standard equation, this equation of general into standard, meaning we cannot do all the steps for our examples 1 and 2 because we cannot group, or there are no terms to be grouped with the same variable. So the first step here is to move the constant term 36 to the right side. So it will be resulting into 9x squared plus 4y squared is equal to positive 36. And then, instead of doing the completing the squares, we need to make sure that the right side is always equal to 1. So we need to divide and proceed to the last part of our solution by dividing the whole equation with the constant 36. And therefore, your final answer would be canceling out the constant numbers such as 9, 4, 36, and 36. So it will result into x squared over 4 plus y squared over 9 is equal to 1. Therefore, this is your final answer. And that is all for this video presentation. Remember the saying by Sir Benjamin Franklin, tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn. Always involve yourself on the things you want to learn, especially if you are having a hard time solving or learning mathematics. Always try and try, practice and practice until you master your subject, okay, or your topics. See you on the next video. Thank you and goodbye everyone.